get you guys going. Thank you. We have the number 13 seed UNC Wilmington, who will play number 4 seed Duke on Thursday at 12:15. The sports information director at Wilmington is Joe Browning. We're joined now by UNC Wilmington student athletes Chris Flemings, Denzel Ingram, and Craig Ponder. Questions for the student athletes? Go right here.
Eric Detweiler with the Wilmington Star News. Craig, you know, we talked about 3 20-loss seasons to start your career. I mean, now that you're actually up here, what kind of thoughts go into your mind as you're getting ready for this opportunity?
First of all, I just can't believe that I'm actually here right now, man. Like I've always been saying, it feels surreal to be here now, especially after the way my career first started. I just trying to stay as ready as possible, try to maintain my mental focus and everything.
More questions? Right here.
Denzel, being a guy from the
Where are you from, please?
John Smith, WECT. Denzel, just talk about the experience of being able to face Duke, a team that you grew up watching.
Yeah, it's big back home. Obviously, I know the rivalry between UNC and Duke is big. So I mean, it's important to me. I'm excited to play them. I've always wanted to play them, and it's a great opportunity for us.
Questions? We'll go right here.
Stephen Schramm, Fayetteville Observer. Chris, I understand your mom is a Duke fan. Is that right? Can you tell me how that Duke fandom came about, and if there are any particular Duke games that you remember her celebrating or enjoying?
She's been a Duke fan since before I was even born, so it's a long-time Duke fan. Even back when like Grant Hill and like all the players like that were there, so she's always been a big fan.
Questions? Right here.
Steve Wiseman, Durham Herald-Sun. Chris, did you watch the championship game with your mom last year, the Final Four or anything, or how did she celebrate that?
Yeah, I watched the game with her. Of course, she was excited, and so it was kind of tough because I always like to go against her just in general, but it was fun.
More questions for the student athletes? Right here.
I'll direct this to Denzel. Tom Lydon from Fox 25 in Boston. Just your thoughts on Brandon Ingram and what he's been able to do in his freshman year, and the challenge of facing a guy who's obviously going to go on to big things in the NBA.
I mean, he's a great player. Take nothing from him. We're just doing a lot of scouting right now, you know, knowing his strengths and knowing things that he struggles with. And, I mean, it's exciting. I mean, anytime we're on the stage and you're going against good players, you want to make the most out of it.
Okay, question over here.
JB Rich with Time Warner Cable News. This question is for Denzel. Can you talk about whether you guys would prefer having the David versus Goliath type of matchup, or the style of you guys bringing a little bit more depth in Duke and not too many people being surprised that you could pull off this victory? What approach are you guys taking out of those two factors?
I mean, we're not really focused on that. We're trying to just think about it as another game. We don't want to bring too much hype to it. We know what we can do, and we know what they can do. So we're just trying to come out here and compete and win games.
I think we have some questions over here.
Craig, yeah, what is the balance that you guys have talked about having here versus enjoying the experience versus keeping it business as usual?
You know, you just got to take the approach that we take to every game. Go in, do heavy scouting, do heavy practice, go into practice with mentality that, you know, that we got to prepare for another game. Even though this one holds a little bit more importance, we try to treat it just like another one.
Okay, we have a question in front.
Bill Koch with the Providence Journal. Chris, I know you started your career in Division II at Barton. When did you make the decision that you were going to try to make the jump to Division I, and what was it about maybe your game that you thought would translate to a higher level?
It wasn't until after my sophomore season, after I'd taken some time after workouts and everything after that. And after seeing Coach Keats get hired at UNCW and looking at his style, I felt like my game fit with that style of being running, pressing.
Okay, we'll go right here. And we'll go.
JB Ricks, Time Warner Cable News. This question is for any of the three players. What has Coach Keats meant to this program as far as what he's done his 3 years during his tenure?
He means a lot to the program because I say I can answer this because I've been here the longest. His style of play, everything that he's brought, the mentality that he's changed throughout the whole program, it's just been tremendous. You look at success for the past 2 years, and you got to take your hat off to him.
Just to piggyback on that, I played for him for just this year, but when I transferred in, I knew he was a winner. He preached championships, and I believed him, and he's delivered, so I have nothing but the most respect for him. Same thing this guy said. I mean, he's honest with you, tells you straight up what you need to do to be successful. So.
Okay, we have another question over here, did we? Okay, right here, sorry.
It's David Hurst with CBS North Carolina. Question for all three of you. You guys have kind of played under the shadow of Duke and UNC and all these other North Carolina schools. Do you guys kind of see this as an opportunity to get some respect on the state level?
I mean, honestly, we don't really try to feed into that. I mean, whether with the little brother or the step cousin or anything like that, whatever's going on, we just want to come here and win games and compete. They're great programs, and UNCW is a great program also. So, yeah.
Go right in front.
John Smith, WECT. Craig, you guys have been doing a lot of scouting. Is there anything that you see that you can exploit against Duke, or is this going to be just one of those matchups you guys got to do what you've done all season long?
You hit it right on the head. We're just going into a scout and doing exactly what we've done all season, playing our style of ball and hoping that it works in our favor.
Any more questions?
Chris, obviously you guys don't have anybody like Brandon Ingram to run scout team. What has it been like preparing and sort of getting ready, and what will it take for you to be able to slow him down a little bit?
It's just been watching a lot of film, paying attention to his tendencies and the things that he likes to do, and still game planning and trying to take those away.
Questions right here.
Bill Koch with the Providence Journal. Craig, what is it about? Is there something in the water at Hargrave that allows so many great players to come out of there and allowed Coach Keats to produce so many great players out of there?
With Hargrave, the kids that go there, they really, a lot of us have a chip on our shoulders, and I think the way that we play reflects on that because everybody who comes from there, we're hungry, and we're well coached coming out of Hargrave, and that's really the recipe for all the great players.
Anything else? Right here.
This is for either of the players.
Again, identify yourself.
JB
Sorry.
Ripps at Time Warner Cable News. Any of the players, as far as Grayson Allen, he was one of the top scorers in the ACC. What is it about his game that you guys are seeing on film that you will have to contain the most tomorrow afternoon?
He's a hard right driver. We know that. He likes to shoot threes in transition, quick release. We know all those things, so we just want to limit those and try to limit his touches.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Okay, thank you. Coach Keats is on his way down. And again, just a reminder, everyone, one last time, please turn off your cell phones. No flash photography is permitted, and no video of any kind. And identify yourself and your media organization each time you ask a question. Thank you. Yeah. We get a nice seat for you here. And, thank you. We're now joined by UNC Wilmington head coach Kevin Keats. And Coach, would you please begin with an opening statement?
Well, guys, good afternoon. Very excited to have the opportunity to be here. When you think about UNCW, you think about a program that in the early 2000 to 2006, we had some NCAA runs, and it's been over a decade since we had the opportunity to play in the NCAA. I was the most excited coach in America when I saw on CBS when our name came across the TV, and I think all the players in the community was excited, and we enjoyed it. We look forward to the opportunity. I've told everybody that I was excited for about 30 minutes, and then once everything calmed down and I got back to my office and realized, because when you hear your name called, you don't know who you're playing because all you do is you see your name. And then I realized that we were going to play against Mike Krzyzewski and Duke. Then it was a reality check. My guys are excited. We've had a tremendous year. When you talk about, winning the regular season championship and then going on to Baltimore and having the opportunity to win 3 games in 3 days, to be able to make it to this point, we're excited as a program. Very happy to be here. Looking forward to playing against an unbelievable, well-coached Duke team that's got a lot of pieces that, in my opinion, causes us a lot of problems. But I think our guys are up for the challenge, and we're excited about the opportunity.
Questions for Coach Keats? Go right in front.
Eric Detweiler, Wilmington Star News. Kevin, what have you told the guys about the balance between enjoying this opportunity and sort of treating business as usual?
Well, Eric, that's a great question. With this team all year long, we've actually stayed in the moment. Like, I'm one of those coaches that we've never put up the conference standings or this game means if you win this, you win the conference championship, or you win this, you win the regular season. And, I talk to these guys about, obviously, the difference in playing in the CAA and playing in the NCAA is that it's more media. And you're going to have mics in your face, and people are going to ask you questions. And, I told them the biggest thing is stay focused and understand that your task is, obviously to come out and play as best as you can, have as much fun as you can in this tournament, and have an opportunity to try to beat Duke.
Question. We had a question over here for Coach Keats.
Dana O'Neill with ESPN.com. Kevin, they're very shorthanded right now, obviously. Is there a way that you can exploit that to your advantage?
Well, Dana, that's a great question, and everybody says they're shorthanded, and which they are. I know they play 6 or 7 guys, but when you play 6 or 7 guys all year long, you get used to it. And Coach K is brilliant. He understands that he does a great job of mixing some man-to-man and playing some zone to make sure you protect the guys and make sure they don't get in foul trouble. I would say because we're a pressing team, I know a lot of people say that's to our advantage, and certainly I hope it is. But I would caution people with that because of the fact that we're not playing them the second or third day in a tournament. We're playing them the first day, and certainly they've had some time to rest. And it's going to be tough. I hope, Dana, that our press comes into play. I hope we can wear them down. But, I think they're in very good shape because you learn how to play with 6 or 7 guys throughout the year.
Now we have a question right up here in front.
Hey, Coach, Tom Lydon from Fox 25 WFXT. Question about Brandon Ingram, and based on your assessment, what makes him a special player? What sets him apart?
Well, he's tough. He's a tough guard, and I said this the other day. He's probably the closest thing that I've seen to Kevin Durant. And I know a lot of people probably have compared him to that, but he's a tough matchup because if you put a guard on him, and it's a smaller guard, he's able to shoot over him. If you put a power forward or you put a center on him or any bigger guy, he's able to drive around those guys. So he's just a tough matchup. He does so much for the team. He can score the basketball. He can rebound the basketball. He blocks shots. He can run the floor. He can finish. That's what makes him special. A lot of people say, well, he's 190 pounds, be physical with him. Well, I don't think you can be physical with anybody in today's game the way they call it. And he's a big-time matchup. You're looking at possibly the number 1 or 2 pick in the draft. And it's going to be tough for us.
Okay, we got a question right here.
Coach, Bill Koch with the Providence Journal. I know it's very different personnel, but is there anything that you can take from the game plan, that 2013 game in Louisville against Duke, anything that you might be able to apply here today?
No. And I say that jokingly is because the personnel is so much different. I mean, you look at us; we're probably one of the smallest teams in the whole tournament. You know, we're at Louisville. We had big guys. You know, we obviously had at that time when we played them twice. We had Zach Price started, who was 6'10", because Gorgie Dang didn't play in the Bahamas. And then when we won the national, when we beat them to go to the Final Four in the Elite Eight, we had Gorgie Dang, we had Shane Bohannon, we had some big guys. But you know, we're a totally different team. So none of the things that you know I learned playing in those two games will help us. We're totally different, and so is Duke, to be honest with you.
Question right here.
John Smith, WECT. Early in the week, you said you were going to have a conversation with Coach Pitino. How did those go, and what did he say about this matchup?
Well, we text a lot, and I think you know, when I texted him, I think he was praying for me on the other end. You know, listen, Coach has the most respect for Coach K of any coach in the country. You know, he told me obviously they're a good team, and certainly you got to do a good job of you know, guarding Brandon Ingram. You got to do a good job of guarding Grayson Allen, and you know, it wasn't much that he can give us. You know, Coach hadn't had the opportunity to watch my team play much. We don't play on TV as much, and we're a lot different than his team. So, and the other thing is, you know, he's played a bunch of matchup zone this year. We're really a primary man-to-man team, and so he, you know, he wished me luck.
Question right over here.
Hey, Coach, J.B. Ricks from Time Warner Cable News. A lot of people are seeing the disadvantage for Duke with their lack of depth, but you brought up a good point on why that won't be a disadvantage for them in this game. What do you see as being an advantage for your team going into this tournament compared to what Duke's disadvantage is?
Well, it's tough for us because if you look on paper, they're probably better than us at every position. The thing that we have to our advantage is I think that we may have a little quickness. We're smaller. I think we may be a little bit quicker. We can spread the floor. We can make shots. We have the ability to be able to switch some ball screens and hopefully disrupt them in a little bit. But we don't have much of an advantage going in. You know, we've got to have, in order for us to have some type of success, I think we've got to have three of our guys play really well on the offensive end, and I think we've got to be very solid on the defensive end.
Any more questions? Oh, Bill?
Bill Koch with the Providence Journal. Coach, could you have envisioned any scenario this year where your team would have been playing in the NCAAs and Louisville was not?
No, I don't. You know, obviously, you never know what happens in a tournament situation. You never happen with anything. You know what? To touch on us, you know, it's one of those teams that when I took the job last year, we ended up winning 18 games. I felt like we were ahead of schedule. And certainly to have these guys to come back, and we've got 7 newcomers when you talk about 4 freshmen and 3 transfers, for us to be here and our chemistry to be very good, it was, I think we're ahead of schedule again. I expected this as a coach in year 3, not year 2, and I'm ecstatic that we're here, and I'm excited about the opportunity that we have in front of us.
Do we have any more questions for Coach? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, you guys.